And it is almost 8:15. It's time to bring in Tim Wood, the plan advisor, Medicare, Life, and Safe Money Retirement Made Easy, and another episode of Insurance Ain't Sexy.
It's time now for another episode of Insurance Ain't Sexy.
Ew! That's yucky.
And neither are these guys. Here's Tim, and Carl.
Ew!
Dateline Birmingham. The Birmingham Police Department says that no domestic dispute charges were filed after an incident in downtown last week. Neighbors called the police after they heard a couple in their early 60s screaming obscenities at each other, and when the police arrived, the husband was still furious and the wife was laughing hysterically. The police lieutenant proceeded to take the man outside to calm him down and get his side of the story. After he calmed down, he said, "I went to the Social Security office to apply for my Social Security. The woman behind the counter asked me for my driver's license to verify my age. I looked in my pockets and realized I'd left my wallet at home. So I told the woman I was very sorry, but I'd have to go home and come back later. Then the woman said, 'Unbutton your shirt.' So I opened my shirt, revealing my curly silver chest hair. She then said, 'That silver hair on your chest is proof enough for me.' And she processed my Social Security application on the spot. So I came right home and excitedly told my wife about my experience at the Social Security office. She then looked right at me and said, 'You should have dropped your pants. You would have gotten disability, too.' Police say this was just another case of marital dysfunction."
Oh, my God. Okay, maybe time to...
That ain't sexy. Wait a minute, we got more, I think. Ball. Oh, insurance ain't sexy, but this trio who's next is. Well, that's nice. I like that. I like that.
Oh, my goodness.
Ball. Insurance ain't sexy, but this trio who's next is. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I like that.
We had to pay about $25 to get that done, I think so.
Oh, man. High dollar.
Anyway, that was quite an incredible story, and
Yeah.
it's good to know who wears the pants in that family, right?
Apparently so, right? Better zip on out of there, buddy.
It's a good thing she didn't press charges, because he probably would have gotten a stiff penalty.
Oh, my.
This has been another exciting episode of Insurance Ain't Sexy.
Ew! That's yucky.
And neither was that. Brought to you by the Plan Advisor. Insurance ain't sexy. So contact the Plan Advisor today and get the best rates and coverage available anywhere. Guaranteed for Medicare, life insurance, and safe money retirement planning. Now that is sexy. The Plan Advisor. Medicare, life, and safe money retirement made easy.
You know, Carl and Tim, I've got a few gray hairs on my chest. I just wonder if I could get my disability that way.
You might.
Disability? Okay. I'm glad you're going to your chest and not somewhere else. Hey, I've got a question for Tim, the plan advisor, okay? Serious question, Tim. I was reading yesterday an article about Bill Ackman. Now, you may know him, probably do. He's a prominent hedge fund manager. He is betting that the coronavirus pandemic could rattle the U.S. stock market again, just as in March. He made a bunch of money. I mean, over $1 billion in hedging against the market at that time. Now, he's saying the same thing, that he's concerned the news is going to encourage people to become nonchalant because we've developed a vaccine, or at least we have some good news about vaccines on the horizon there. He warned that investors, Tim, are underestimating the severity of the pandemic. Now, he did sound that similar alarm in March, just before states imposed lockdown orders. Do you see a similar sort of thing happening here in the general economic picture, Tim?
It's very possible. And this is one of the discussions that I have quite often. I actually had a client last night, and this was one of his main concerns, and we had a long discussion about it. There's there's a lot of indicators, and if you watch TV and a lot of the talking heads, so to speak, they are all talking about, what's going to happen. As we discussed last week, the one thing that we absolutely know for sure is with this apparent Biden win, the government is going to be all over capital gains. I mean, we know that absolutely 100% for a fact because Biden's already said that's part of his plan. So, as I mentioned last week, everyone needs to make sure that their tax burden, that they're basically watch your tax burden, make sure that you're prepared because they're going to be coming after capital gains. But as far as the market itself, there obviously no one knows what's going to happen. But with all the turmoil, and yeah, I agree that there's the cases in our area seem to keep going up, and they seem to keep going up everywhere. So I think that it is very possible, and it just kind of reinforces the safe money products that we've spoken about on here, and that people need to be prepared for whatever could happen in the market. And these safe money products basically allow people to still get a portion of their gains, but it completely protects them from any market losses. So it's a really good way to protect your hard-earned retirement that you've worked your whole life for. And on top of that, to be honest with you, one of the biggest things I'm finding, especially now, there is so much stress. People are stressed about the election. They're stressed about the economy. They're stressed about the virus. They're stressed about everything. Mm-hmm. When you've got one of these plans, you don't have to stress about your retirement. You can sleep at night, and you don't have to worry about whether the market's crashing, what the virus is doing to the market, what any of that stuff is happening, because you don't have to worry about it. You never have to worry about any losses. You still get some gains, and it's a really good stress reliever, and it's a way to sleep easier.
Yeah, a little peace of mind, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Thinking Out Loud with Tim Wood, the plan advisor. Here's a question emailed from Louie in Kingsport, Tim. It says, what's the difference between term life insurance and whole life insurance, and which is best? And also, how can I get the best rates?
Well, the basic difference between term life and whole life, it's very simple. Term life is exactly what it sounds like. It's life insurance that you're buying, and it's for a specific term. 10 years, 15, 20, it goes up to 30, and there's actually a few products that go a little over 30. And some of the biggest names in personal finance, that's all they recommend, like Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, Clark Howard, all of them all agree, and they only recommend term life. And term life is great. The reason term life is so great is because it's inexpensive. You can get a good amount of coverage for a very small amount of money, but once again, it is a term. Another way to look at it is it terminates. It only goes for a certain amount of time, and then that's it. Mm-hmm. Whereas whole life is exactly what it sounds like. It goes for your whole life, but it is much more expensive. I would say probably 90% of the cases that I write are term life because that's what people are wanting. Now, there are certain situations where whole life does make sense. For example, you can use that to fund a special needs trust, or if you want to pay inheritance or estate taxes, or whole life generates a cash value. So if you want to be able to use that when you get to retirement age, there are some situations where whole life makes sense. But for the most part, term life does make sense. As far as which is best, that's something that we would need to sit down with you, Louie, and find out exactly what your situation is and what you're looking to do, and we can certainly advise you on that. How can you get the best rates? That is simply you need to get with someone like us, the plan advisor, that is independent. We represent every option that you have. So basically someone that's an independent can shop for you. Once we get your date of birth and everything, how much you're looking for and what the term is, we can shop for you and find who the best carrier out there is that's the highest rated, that's got the best rates, and then get you moved right into that product. So that's the biggest thing as far as getting the best is get with someone that's independent and represents all of your options like we do. And then you can, like I said, we'll shop for you, make sure you've got the best rate, show you all of your options, and then getting into a term policy is very simple and quick.
All right, we want to remind listeners, of course, that we're getting here toward the end of the annual election period for all the Medicare Advantage and prescription drug plan beneficiaries.
We are. That ends December the 7th, and there will be a mad rush come that first week of December. So anyone that has a prescription drug plan or Medicare Advantage, right now is when I strongly recommend you give us a call. It takes about 10-15 minutes. We look at what you've got now. We look at what your options are for next year. If you're in the best plan already, we say congratulations. Let's do this same thing again next year and make sure you're in the best thing for 22. If there's something better, then we can, make the change right then and there. It's real quick and easy, and then you would have better coverage starting for next year. And you can get a lot of information right from our website. If you just go to theplanadvisor.com, we've got all kinds of Medicare information right there, and you can set an appointment right from our site. There's live chat right on our site. You can email us questions right from our site. Or, of course, you can just call us, and, of course, we could just answer questions right over the phone, 423-262-7919.
All right, 262-7919 and theplanadvisor.com. The Plan Advisor, Medicare, Life, and Safe Money Retirement Made Easy. Remember, insurance ain't sexy, but saving money and getting the best rates available anywhere is. Tim Wood is the Plan Advisor. Tim, always great information, a lot of fun. We'll talk to you next week.
I look forward to it.